Hi Aquarius, here is a general look at your solar chart for September 2015. Some really nice energies in your close relationship sector at this time, Aquarius. They're really very nice, but also there's some energies which show that you are shifting onto another level or a new stretch of the road in some way or another. And also until the 23rd is a gear shifting phase, as you intuitively sound things out. Now, this might be to do with a negotiation, it might be to do with another person's feelings, it might be to do with a property, it could be like that, but you may have to be more conscious of where somebody else is coming from, what their take is, what their feelings are, or it might be an outside sort of agency, what their rules and regulations are, that kind of thing. But you're sort of very sensitively in this area here. You may also be weighing up what another side of things are in a financial or legal sense as well. And you could be musing over any of these things. Also, you could be musing over some deeper questions about what's underlying XYZ situation or person. What is the moral side of this? It could be about debts due or owed as well at this time, and transition will occur. This is the sun, which is a relatively brief transit. It's a 4-week transit, so you've got the sun here up until the 23rd, went in there at the end of August, and shifting you, as I say, from one stretch of road or one sort of understanding or one arrangement to another, or indeed one standpoint, one expectation to another. Now, Mercury is connecting you with those at a distance, maybe more, discussions with those at a distance more, maybe expanding your mind in other ways as you entertain options outside of the box. You'll tend to be thinking bigger and becoming aware of fresh potential or a distant horizon. And there could be a breath of fresh air coming from a long way off, or maybe it's coming through somebody's take on things, even consulting in a legal way, or looking at your rights on something, or it could be you are planning a trip. This is a good time with Mercury here to be doing that, beating the drum about something, getting the information out there, getting the word out, being the guide or the guided, the informer or the informed. But you're likely to find somebody who has a specialist knowledge who you can pick their brains, or indeed somebody may find their way to you because you've got a specialist knowledge and they want to pick your brains. Now, as I say, there's some really nice energies in your close relationship area, partnership area, but also close relationships in other sorts of ways. And Venus is here and Mars is here. Mars is here until the 25th and has been there most of August. And so this means that personal or professional exchanges are likely to be more dynamic and lively, maybe because of another or another's information or action or mood. You take a decision and then you get busy, you take action. You and someone could cross swords, or you and someone could team up, which is far more likely actually with this one here, with Venus there. You could team up and present a united front in some way. And just be careful not to be too hasty or shoot from the hip in your opinion or what you're feeling, because Mars tends to be hasty. And then you make a false start, or then you haven't got the information under your belt before you have gone forwards with somebody or together with somebody on something. So if this is about the relationship itself, that can still apply, or it might be that you and someone together are doing something which you can be successful at, you can be productive with, because with Venus there, she's very strong in that position in your sun sign chart, Aquarius. So I'm not going to say she can do no wrong, but she will be a good ally for you regarding those that you have dealings with one-to-one, or an opposite number, or indeed somebody that you're bonding with, that you feel as though you really click with, a special someone. So a special someone could have come into your life already, or maybe this is happening or is yet to come. If you're looking, that planet has been in there since June the 6th and will be there until October the 9th. So that's quite a nice long dollop of Venus in that area there, because Venus is usually a 3-week transit planet. So this has been a very rare and exceptional transit of this planet. And you could be tying the knot maybe, or you could just be becoming maybe a little bit more involved with someone, very much enjoying the company of somebody else, or and lending each other a hand. Or if it is in a more formal setting, then again these energies can apply really, really well, meaning that you get the right kind of support from somebody who is an opposite number, or who is just an ally in some kind of a way. And then from the 25th, Mars moves out of there into a much deeper sector of your solar chart, which is actually where the Sun was up until the 23rd. The Sun moved out of there on the 23rd and goes into a very expansive area, tending to raise the spirits. You see fresh possibilities outside of the box, time to make plans and launch into something new. But Mars goes into this much deeper area on the 25th. So again, there's this same emphasis on this gear shifting, this coming up against some kind of resistance, finding the way through or over or under, or just the loophole, and wriggling through if it's like that, or it might not be. It might be that you and the whole thing is getting more intense between you and someone in a good way. Or it might be that you feel as though it is confrontational in some regard. This is quite well. It's kind of it's a short transit, but it's 6 weeks, so there is time for it to kind of ferment, shall we say. You could be more intensely aware of the feelings of another, or the moral standing or the value structure of another. You could be more aware of just having another nearby in your space, or it might be that you and another decide to plunge in and pool resources together, and so therefore you have to allow for that, and that will indeed be a change to routines and so on. Or maybe it's not like that at all. Maybe it's just that you have to keep your cards close to your chest. You have to bite your tongue maybe sometimes, or just be more confidential or shrewd directly to someone or indirectly because of a situation. This is also the area of debts, due or owed. And again, Mars likes to be decisive, likes to take action, can be a bit hasty, can be a bit like doesn't engage brain before mouth. So I'm just making you aware of that. You might have to be the assertive one. However, the Mars energy can also mean that somebody is being very assertive towards you. You might even feel pushed. You might even feel coerced. And that is like me kind of imagining the extreme here, because it's possible that you won't feel any of these things at all. However, if you see a situation maybe sort of the wind blowing in that direction, then maybe if you remember this, you'll know that that is something that might be an element that maybe you hadn't even paid attention to. However, on the upside, yeah, you've got to be more sensitive to another feelings or expectations. And they have to be more sensitive to yours maybe, but also if it's a financial property related situation, this is the time to take action. You can, as I say, get really, there's some really nice vibrations there for getting the right kind of support that you need through the Venus position. Yeah, and then of course looking for a compromise, looking for a win-win solution would be the ideal. And also, even though you're an air sign and you're quite sort of emphasizing your left brain a lot, because you can be quite scientifically minded, Aquarius, but or just intellectually minded, but you can trust your intuition, listen to your gut knowing, listen to your dreams. But definitely don't put all your cards on the table, maybe with some people. And you may not want to, it might be a question of timing, you see. So, and then these new potentials, time to make plans or launch into something new, and also still keeping this connection with those at a distance, though, very much keeping that connection, and having conversations maybe more with those at a distance, or being on the move more, or connecting with somebody maybe not at a distance, but whose background and whose approach is very different to your own. Not in a bad way necessarily, simply that is how the energies may be manifesting here. Now Saturn is moving on the 17th, and will be in a much more helpful angle to your sun sign, Aquarius. And this means you can be successful over this next 2 years if you put a steady flow of energy into group connections, extended family, tribal connections, maybe, you know, kindred spirits, but also networking, working at that, friendships, building those, hierarchy or a social circle. So just cultivating any of those kinds of contacts. But also this is a quite progressive area, so it'll be steady as you go with that progress, because Saturn does tend to delay and slow things down. However, it is a progressive area, and you will slowly be working your way through these levels in the pecking order, maybe, through, you know, these specific, maybe quite useful contacts as you gradually rise up the levels and establish yourself. You might feel as well with Saturn here that there's a certain group of people that you're kind of growing out of, or who are no longer around, or maybe you start missing them. It can be like that with Saturn, or it might be like, I don't really know where I fit. It can be like that as well. And that is the way Saturn operates. Gets us to start asking questions and make decisions and make changes, and we go stronger in the process. You Aquarians born the 17th to the 19th of February, or the 21st to the 22nd of January, so I should have put that the other way around, or with from 28 degrees rising or up to 2 degrees rising, you're going to feel this energy the most this forecast period. And then Jupiter is in a very useful angle to your sun sign for the next 12 months. And this will be you putting, maybe pooling resources with another, maybe, you know, taking the leap of faith there. But also it puts a beneficial emphasis on your financial areas. So this is shifting into there on the 17th. So if you need funding, or if you need some kind of a boost financially, you're more likely to get it with this long trance of Jupiter going through there. Jupiter comes around there once every 12 years. So Jupiter can really deliver materially and benefit your life materially, depending on where you're at. But your life could grow and expand through the contribution of key associations, not just materially, but emotionally as well, Aquarius, through partnership, through those in close relationship, again, from maybe a background different to your own, maybe even, you know, a country different to your own. And this can mean perhaps more money, possessions, physical conditions, domestic setup, property, you know, coming your way. Also, it is about debts due or owed. Again, with Jupiter here, it does tend to mean that you've got a bit of a safety net, not 100%, you know, because we have to look at everything in a chart. From where I'm sitting, I can only see the sun. But it's a bit of a safety net. At least it's, what's that thing they fall on, like a trampoline? At least you'd bounce. And it might be 11th hour, but you would probably bounce. And of course that doesn't mean you know that you still got to keep your head screwed on, and you've still got to work the energy in the way that the energy can be worked. But this is a general influence through this joint financial area, but it's also an area where you can really be enjoying things with another that you jointly have a real interest in as well, and sort of comparing notes and yeah, and enjoying that. This is also maybe it doesn't work like any of those ways. Maybe this is just the time for a new financial strategy or a new strategy related to a property, and you are moving into a different sort of setup there, or a different contract. Maybe some kind of setup becomes a useful resource for you, and it may be some kind of debt settled, whether that's from you or to you. It might be even a moral debt. You Aquarians born the 23rd to the 31st of January, or with 3 to 11 degrees rising, going to feel that energy the most. And then just a mention of Jupiter and Neptune opposing each other for a lot of this month after the first week. So a bit kind of uncertain, vague, ambiguous. This energy can mean you're too idealistic, head in the clouds over something, or it might not mean that at all. It might mean that someone's being unrealistic. So it might mean you being unrealistic, or somebody in a situation that you're in being unrealistic, and depending on what else is going on in your natal chart, of course. This is a relatively brief transit, but you just need to be doubly aware to keep things real, to keep your feet on the ground, to have a plan B, and then everything should be fine. And then there's going to be a lunar eclipse, a total lunar eclipse, excuse me, on the 28th. And that lunar eclipse is in the early degrees of Aries. Again, a very good angle to your sun sign, meaning that you can be turning over a new leaf with perhaps through education, perhaps through developing yourself through speaking, writing, or other mediums of expression over the many months after the eclipse. This is a very stabilizing eclipse, with it making a good aspect to Saturn. And that's it for September. If you know your rising sign or your moon sign, listen to those. And also you can read this material, where the basics of this material up on my website, DianaGarland.com. And I'll see you the next time.